Hi, you're seeing this because I fucked up. Today, we're going to replace this monitor with that one. But, of course, there's a whole story involved. See, I was supposed to show a shot of the old monitor first. You will see it later, but I forgot to record that, so that didn't end up working out. Anyway, here's the story of why this new monitor is here. So the story goes like this. We're currently looking at my Dell 21-inch Trinitron monitor, which is a Sony rebadge. I don't remember exactly when it's from, 2003, 4, something like that. This was not the original monitor I had in the office here. The original monitor I had was a 19-inch actual Sony branded, and I did take a video of that CRT and test it out, but I've never posted that video as of yet. There'll be a link in the description, but you can't watch it till I post it, if I ever do. That died. No, that still worked, and I got another monitor which was a 21-inch, but it was a white bezel instead of black, and I think that was also Sony branded, yes. Eventually that died, and that was years ago, and then this one came in. This is from 2003, 4, 5, somewhere in there, I don't know precisely. You've seen this monitor before in a two-part series I had on, I think it was called My Computers Thought It Was October. And this monitor has so many hours on it and has so many problems. But it works, and you see it's working right now. The colors are nice and vibrant. Hopefully it's not flickering too much. So everything here is good, but I have a UPS on this system, and everything is fine, but the batteries in the UPS are dead, and they've been dead for a while. And I decided I'm not going to replace them yet again, because every time I do, they eventually just go dead, and it's very, very rare that we have power disturbances or even outages here. Pretty rare, and that. Now, in that video on My Computers Thought It Was October, this monitor must remain on and active and live. What you see right now, of course, is the screensaver, and the screen, of course, is on and lit up and is otherwise working. If this monitor is shut off for any reason for any more than about 2 seconds, then all kinds of bad stuff happens. When you turn it on, the screen will come on and then eventually flash either red, yellow, blue, green, sometimes some other color, and the entire thing will display that color overlaid on top of everything with kind of diagonal looking scan lines, and it's bad news. The UPS was experiencing an error condition. It had an error on the display which basically said the batteries in here are too shot and it could no longer stay on. So the entire system powered down, including this monitor. Pretty much at that point I knew there was no way this thing was coming back. I scurried, and as fast as I could I ran downstairs and got a power strip that has enough outlets and that, and just plugged everything that was in the UPS into it just to get it back up and running and hang on to it as long as I possibly can. And of course, when I turned it on, it flashed all those colors and that. And what happens when it displays those diagonal lines, that color gets brighter, 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 and finally the monitor realizes it's in big trouble and it shuts itself off. That means the process then starts again. There are definitely bad capacitors in this monitor because it's definitely smack dab in the middle of capacitor plague and all the rest that goes along with that. But somehow at the 11th hour I was able to get this thing working again, and it stayed working and everything is fine with it. Every now and again it'll flash a color on the screen, just a real quick blip, but I can live with that. That's perfectly fine. And I'm hesitant to get rid of it because it's a CRT, and how good it is because it's a CRT, especially being a flat Trinitron screen like this. But the other week, what happened was the monitor started flipping out. It's been on, it's been doing its thing, everything is working fine, and then out of nowhere the screen will just go completely fuzzy, and then the picture disappears completely. You get this weird pattern. I'm not going to try to demonstrate that because, again, this thing is like on borrowed time greatly. So long and short of the story was it kept doing that. If I powered it off and right back on, usually that's okay, but in this circumstance, after about 5 seconds, maybe even less, I would get the fuzzies and the whole picture would just go out, and that was the end of that. So it pretty much had lived its life, and the game was over. I shut it off. In the meantime, I was going to use the video editing rig, which will do everything this machine can, but it's just more comfortable here in my office, but I'll deal with it for a couple of days, and I'm going to have to replace this monitor. Now, I do have a replacement CRT, and that was slated as the replacement for this screen. Unfortunately, it's not as nice. It's not a Trinitron tube, and it's not a flat Trinitron tube at that, but it certainly is an acceptable enough monitor that it will carry on the tradition of CRT in here. Alas, the monitor died, and I'm reluctant to replace it with another CRT for two reasons. One is you can't get that kind anymore, and the 21 inchers were pretty expensive and therefore pretty rare, even toward the end of the life, because people, toward the end of the line, because people were then going to flat screen monitors, as awful as they were. Well, the time had come, and I panicked, and I had to buy a replacement monitor. Fortunately, it happened to be Cyber Monday, so I got a great deal on a replacement monitor. So, the monitor that I have that you saw earlier on the video editing rig is a 24-inch. I had bought that at Tiny Middle years ago, and I was lucky because I had full access to the system and all that. It's an AOC branded monitor, and I looked at the specs. We have like an intranet, or we had an intranet that was there, and it would show all the specs. So I looked up all the 24-inch monitors that we sold because that was the size I decided upon. And pretty much looking through them, I had found an interesting pattern. Besides the buttons on the screen and where they're located and what the bezel and all that looks like, they all have the same specifications for the most part, with an oddball here and there. And that's when I realized that working on laptops all those years, most of the laptops that were brought in had a 15.6-inch LCD screen, 1366 by 780 resolution, something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was. And they all took the same panel. Almost every run-of-the-mill laptop took the same panel. And we had a stack of these OEM no-name panels, and you could replace the screen in any laptop that you needed for the most part, with a rare exception, in which case we'd have to order from the manufacturer. So that means that in all the 24-inch monitors, the same panel was being put in them. So there was no point in looking... There, you saw a flash there. There was no point in looking for better specifications, because unless I wanted to pay a lot more, which I didn't, and get that oddball one, which also would make it hard to replace the panel if ever need be, I just, it wasn't worth it. So I looked through, and of course I came upon an AOC brand, and I did some research on the company, and it turns out they're an OEM for many other monitors that were available at the time, such as HP, Compaq, some Dells, Acer monitors, Gateway brand monitors when they were around, and the odd E-Machines one here and there also. And the AOC was the cheapest, and I said, well, if I can get the same specifications on the AOC monitor, I might as well go for that because the price is the least. So I bought it, and the screen has been absolutely excellent. Nothing wrong with it. Well, now faced with the fact that I have to replace this monitor well, not exactly now, because it's working again. What happened with that was hours later, I came back and I played the game with this thing. I'd turn it on as soon as it would display that color overlay on the entire screen. I'd shut it off, turn it right back on, and then I'd get a different color or sometimes the same. Turn it back off, turn it on again, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, and again and again and again. It was a solid 20 to 30 minutes of just on-off cycling of this thing, and somehow, by the grace of God, once again at the 11th hour, the fucking thing came back, and here it is, still operational, so I don't have to replace it at this time. But being that I bought a screen, I said, you know, it would be wise, as long as I'm buying a screen, to buy one for the video editing rig and go for one a bit larger, and I had toyed around with that idea back in the day. Next size up from 24 is 27, so that was the size that I was looking for back in the day, but I waited and waited until this happened and ended up getting an excellent deal on it. So I think probably the best course of action, especially since measuring everything, not much larger than a 27 inch is going to fit on that desk unless I do a lot of reconstructing, which I don't want to do at this time. I want to kind of leave everything well enough alone. So in light of that, I said, let me get a 27. I'll take that 24 inch, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with, and hook it up over here. So I got a Dell monitor because that happened to be the best price, and again, I used that knowledge that I had gained in the past about monitors to gear me in that, or guide me in that direction. And again, it's your typical run-of-the-mill LCD panel. It's nothing fancy. It's not a curved one. It's not an OLED. It's not any of the other bullshit that's out there, because I just simply don't fucking need it. The CRT surpasses them in every single way. You all fight it out in the comments. I'm staying out of that. CRT 100%. There's nothing that has beat it as of yet. But I have a 24 inch and I measured this area, and it will just squeeze in here barely for when that time comes. But again, I don't need to do that kind now because this is somehow working. Like I said, the computer and this monitor are on very borrowed time. It's like if you have an elderly someone in your family or circle of friends and they've made it to 95 years old. Let's face it, folks, they're living on borrowed time. It could be in a minute from now. It could be 10 years from then. We just don't know, but eventually everything and everyone will die. So, in the meantime, I basically gave this thing CPR and put the paddles on it and all that great shit, and it came back to life. So here it is, maybe a little worse for wear as happens, but it's still in operation. But since I bought that monitor already, it doesn't make sense to return it, because as soon as I do, this is going to go out and I'm going to need a monitor for here. And like I said, I don't want to put another CRT here because they're so rare. And the other reason, which I didn't mention yet, is I just can't fucking lift these fucking things anymore like I used to. I don't even know how I'll get this out of here. Somehow I put it in when the previous monitor died. But I'll tell you something, that was years ago and it was no fucking picnic then. So anyway, let's get on to replacing the monitor on the video editing rig. That 24 inch is going to sit by the wayside until I need it for here, and then it will go in service here. A couple other things I'd like to also point out: that AOC monitor has HDMI and VGA inputs. The Dell monitor has an HDMI and a VGA input, and definitely came with the VGA cable, according to the specs on Amazon, which is a nice perk. I could have gotten another monitor, some other brand that didn't include it, but it was like 10 bucks less, so I said, you know what, it's good to just have an extra VGA cable around because you just never know. Another nice thing is, if I'm not mistaken, all the ports and everything else should be the same between this monitor and the old one and the new one. So basically I can leave all of the cables in there and just swap out the monitor proper and not have to bother with any cabling, which is definitely a big help. Alright, let's go to the video editing rig. So here is the 24-inch AOC monitor, and because I totally don't need to do this, I'm actually going to power this system off because I can. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and shut that down. I could have done it, and I originally had planned on doing it with the power still on, but there's no sense in doing that. So that's shutting down. I need to move certain things, like that's got to come off. I don't know if it'll go on the new one. And the webcam, that's got to go. That's actually stuck down with some double stick tape, so that ought to be fun. Alright, let's see if we can do this. Alright, so first we'll take this off because I know it just comes off. Yeah, there you go. Alright, and we'll just sort of yoink that down over there. The webcam, God, I don't want to move this thing because I have it just perfect, but I have to. So there's that, and that is the double stick tape up there. Of course there's dust because that's what you have. You've got a little micro SD to SD card reader, adapter, and a little micro SD card reader. Second one in the series, so that's good. I'll leave that. That should be fine. And now I might be able to tip this over a little bit. And yes, sir, indeed, I am in luck. Can undo the VGA cable right there. Get the little thumb screws out. Don't over tighten those, by the way. So there's the VGA, and the power cord, fortunately, is a standard IEC plug. And the monitor just lifts out, and all is good in the world. Very simple like that, and the new one should now just go in here. But I want to clean up a little bit because I can, because it's not here no more. So we need to move wires out of the way. So we'll just kind of shove those over like that. And this thing that's here is a monitor riser. China sent that a long time ago. By the way, if you don't have one of those, you need that kind. And I'm not saying this one, I'm just saying in general. Because the monitor, if you sit at your computer monitor and your line of vision does not line up smack dab with an imaginary center point on the screen, you're hurting your neck and everything else. Believe you me, I spend plenty enough time at a terminal all day to know that proper posture is very, very important. Alright, I'm going to clean up the rest of this shit here, dust things off, and then we'll see if we can fit the monitor in. In the meantime, let me show you the new one before I do that. Yeah, it says Dell. That's about all I can really tell you. It says Dell. They got their new logo. It doesn't look like the old one. It's still the same company in that, but I'm sure the products aren't quite the same. Looks like the base of it is going to jive well with what I got, so that's a very handy thing. And we'll take that out of the box and put that in after I get everything else set. Definite scores here. You got a setup guide, another little manual there. Here's the base for it. That probably won't fit. That's good. You got this riser piece that goes on and I guess allows you to tilt or something. It's got hinges, so probably. They made it really difficult. See how it's like roundy like that? It can't go the wrong way. It doesn't work. It has to go, and I didn't even look at the instructions yet. That's when you know that you have a well-designed product where you don't even have to look at anything. And then the panel on the back to cover up all the connections, because you have to have that these days. I don't know why. And it came with not only your IEC power cord right over here, just plain old power cord. That'll go in the Horde. It came with a VGA cable, but holy shit, that is pretty thin stuff, but still serviceable if you need one in a pinch. You know, so it's there, because they don't want you using this kind. They also give you a nice long HDMI. So that's nice as well, but I'm not going to use that kind because this is hooked up VGA. So now we'll get the panel put together on the stand. Wow, that stand just barely makes it. It just clips the edge. It's fine. But even just the line in the front just makes it without having to move it at all. Not even a millimeter. It just makes it perfect. Of course, the rest was simple stupid as well. It just sort of clicks into the monitor. It didn't want to go at first, and I noticed the thing that said use the screwdriver, but it looked like there was something to press or something, and there were 2 screws, so of course I removed those because I don't want to break this because I actually paid for it. And that did absolutely nothing. You just have to basically go Italian and force it in. And after doing that very carefully, it just snaps in because they know that the big fat dumb American consumer can't operate a screwdriver. What is nice is the VGA connection is all the way on the left side, which is exactly where the old one was. So that means I don't need to extend that cable or anything. That just happened to work out. I couldn't have planned that because they don't show you where it is online. And the power over there, which is kind of just like the other one was, so should work. I've also taken note of which way the D-sub connector on the VGA port is facing so I can plug the cable in the right way the first time. I've learned many times over the years to do that, and it just makes it a hell of a lot easier. Okay, it is officially time. I have measured exactly between these lights, and I have just shy of 25 inches, and the screen is about 23 and change. So it will just barely fit in there. So now we will get the entire monitor. It weighs nothing compared to the old one, obviously. I'm surprised there is no screen protector on it. That's rather interesting. And this should simply drop right into place, just like that. That's awesome. There you go. It even has tiny little specks of dust already. And I'll have to see, because this sits a little higher than the old one. I'll have to see. The old one did sit just a shade low, so this might be okay, but if not, I might have to get rid of that monitor stand and or monitor riser, and I kind of do like it, so I prefer if that stays. Somehow now I have to get these cables plugged in. That's not going to be fun. So I'm going to do that, and then we can get this powered on for the first time and see what it looks like in its 27-inch glory. Just because this is the very first time, I have the power cord just laid in place loosely, and I have to reach from behind and underneath, and it is facing the correct direction, I believe, yes. So just lining it up and plugging it in. It may power on automatically, or it may not. There it goes. Okay, it's in. And it's dead. Great. Okay. There's a power button somewhere. Hey, it says Dell! Holy shit! That's... There you go. So, English. How do you... Where are the buttons now? There. Oh, it even tells you. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, cool. Okay. It's got on screen. No VGA cable. The display will go into standby mode in 4 minutes. Wow. Okay. Well, that's kind of nifty. So, I'm gonna... Oh, you know, it's actually not too horrible that it actually has... Can I just get that little speck off? Yeah, nice. That is There's a little like fur over here. Yeah, nice. No fur here. Just cats, you know. So I don't know if the webcam, because that's got to go. Well, actually, this light has to go first because of the way its cable is. And I don't know if it's not. I don't really use it. It was just a China thing that is Chinese or something. Maybe behind, like that, it'll go. Yeah, I guess it's going to have to, right? And then we're going to have to do that, and it won't serve much purpose there. So we'll see. Let's just kind of clip it on, and I'll worry about it later on. Just about there. Yeah, this light is going to have to move a little to just make it. And I kind of didn't want to move it. And it's still pushing out because of that. And that's kind of how it's going to be for right this minute. So we'll probably move it. I should put it right on the side, you know. That wouldn't be bad. Does it fit? No, the cable's too short, of course. Actually, I think, oopsie. Turn my other light off. So I could just do that. Like that. Barely clipped on because that's how China says it has to be. This is coming apart now. That's kind of cool. I always did want to look inside, so hey, cool. Let's look while we're here. A fucking progress bar. That's high end. That's high end right there. And there's the thing, and it's got some warm white and some cool white LEDs, as you see right there. And where the fob is now, God only knows. Here, what button is it? Great question. No clue. There it is. Brightness. There's both. And warm, cool, both warm. Ha 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 ha. Very nice light for you. Okay, you put cover back on and you product manually. Properly. Terrifair. I don't use it at all anymore. That's good right there. Alright, we'll put the cover back on and get more things together. Yeah, that'll suffice. So with that done, I can try to move this lamp. Oh yeah, now we're back in business. I did kind of dust it off, but I guess not good enough. Gotta hit it again, but it looks close. I want it up just a bit. Yeah, see? Right where it was. Where I liked it. That's why I put it there to begin with. Okay. Love the wibbly wobbly. Part of that is the, what do you call it? The monitor riser, but what else are you going to do? This has, oh yeah, I forgot. I don't remember what brand this webcam is. It's got dust on it. But I have a second one that is identical to it. I guess I'll clean it off. Here, I got a paper towel right there. I'm going to have to readjust everything anyway, so, you know. But if you notice, hopefully you can see, there's hot glue. And that's because the cable just went in the damn thing and there was no anything. So I said to China, I said, okay, listen, I can test this, but you got to try. So they sent me another one. That one was better, so I decided that I would simply put some hot glue on it and call it macaroni. So I did. This goes in here like that. And kind of right about, not yet, there. And if I just squeeze that a little and angle it down, I might not even need a, what do you call it, on there. That's not quite centered yet. It's close, but everything else is askew. Let's see. Oh, it's damn close. It's very close. Alright, I'll leave it for now. I want to hook this VGA cable up. So I guess I'll do that, and then we'll turn the system on and see what we get. Even the cable's dusty and all that. That's really nice. They have a little clip thing in the back of the monitor to put the cables in. That's just, I'm not doing that kind because it's fine how it is. You don't even really see the power cable. I wonder if I could squeeze it in. All right, I'm going to work. How about that? So my guess is this is going to go completely out of focus, at least until we have something on the screen. I have just barely caught the threads on the back because I don't want to touch nothing, because that's actually all you need, really. It's just to prevent the cable from falling out. It should be tighter, but it's not going anywhere, so it's fine. So let's power this thing up. Okay, the computer is powering on. Hey! It even auto-adjusted. It's not as terribly blue. Holy shit. That's fucking crisp. That's fucking crisp. I thought I was going to have to adjust this and change all kinds of shit. I'm going to go in the menu and look at the brightness and all that great shit. If it has it on board, I think it does. Yeah, wow. It's high. I'm not sure I like that kind, because the other one wasn't that high, so yeah. Alright, it's booting. Oh, see, it had a... I gotta fix that kind. Why did it do that? And it's not quite right, but it'll fix itself. That looks good. I've never seen text that fucking big. Shit. Yes, I have, on the big plasma TV. So I wonder if it does that auto adjustment every time, or it's just learning now because of the different modes. Pardon me, because that's just a tad a bit annoying. Not a big deal, but just a tad bit annoying. Yeah, there was another one. Wenders! Yeah, that's not working. That's cool. Okay. I have no idea why. What does Mr. Computer think? I think it's loading shit. Alright, I guess I'll come back. Oh, no, I didn't need to. Oh, the fucking dual monitor is all fucked up now. That's why. Great. I gotta reconfigure that. That's why. Okay, now it makes sense. Girlie, are you not letting your daddy finish the video? Look at the little mollusk. Look at the little girlie. Gets all the scratch and shit. Yes, it does. She has a little thing there. She's had it since she was a baby. It's a little cat scar. She's okay. She's a nice little girlie, but I can't sit down. Oh, Daddy. Oh, give me all the scratch in the world, Daddy. Oh, my. Oh, Daddy, yes. Oh, my God. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, Daddy. So the fucking dual monitor thing fucked up my entire shit. I had all my icons laid out in the way that I had them before, and it just scrunched them all over. But that's really nice. So, yeah, I'll just have to sort those back out. It's not really a problem. Picture quality, first of all, here's the Vimeo editor. That takes a second to load up. There you go. It's coming in. It works. The picture is, thank fuck, warmer than the old monitor by a bit, and I can set it even warmer still if I wanted to. I played around with all the settings and that, and they're pretty much good right where it is. Just kind of leave well enough alone. One nice thing, it came with drivers, not with it. You have to download them. So it came with that kind, but it starts at Windows 8, and this is Windows 7. So it claimed that it didn't install, even though it did. So that's kind of nice. Let me minimize that for a second again. And I don't know if this actually will work for the video, but I got these glasses here that I have to wear because I can't see nothing. And it blocks the blue light, you see? They're kind of yeller. Yeah, you kind of could tell a little bit. They have like a coating on them. These are just plain old reading glasses. Yes, they're dirty. I have to clean them. Hey, China is sending me some cleaning cloths for glasses and shit like that. So I'm leaving them dirty for now. So I have a prop for the video. So that will work. The monitor works. I think it really is a little tall on the monitor riser stand thing. So it's going to take a little getting used to, because when I sit in the chair, which I can't because there's a mollusk right now, I have a tendency to slouch because you do these things. And yeah, I'm not looking straight dead in center of the screen. So it's going to be a little getting used to. It's also bigger than the old one, obviously. And you know what I don't like about it? I could open a window up and put it maybe over here. And I could open another window and put it maybe over there. And I gotta, like, look around. It's too big. The monitor is really too big. That's kind of the problem. You get, you know, you got so much fatigue just looking around the damn screen because it's so fucking big. But I did want a bigger monitor, and I got one, and this will be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, so of course it's going to take some getting used to, but I had to get used to the other monitor too, and then I had to get used to it again when I put it on the monitor riser. So yeah, it's just your typical bullshit. I'll get through it. I got a new screen. It's not any better or worse. It's kind of the same, but it was dirt cheap, and it is bigger, and I guess that's a good thing. Plus I have a replacement monitor for when my old CRT dies, and as much as I would like to place another CRT there, you can't get that kind anymore. So they should be used not as a daily driver because they are, you know, you can't replace them really. So anyway, that's going to do it. The story of this monitor and replacing the monitor that didn't need to be replaced because of another monitor that needed to be replaced that then didn't need to be replaced at the 11th hour. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and now I get to edit this video on this new monitor. Hooray! Okay, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.